And I was listening to your tape, and I heard the story about how Jerry had gone to a doctor and was asked by the receptionist what his age was, and he said he didn't know.
Therefore, glasses, yes.
Yes. And asked Esther how old he was, and she didn't know. And so she made a big point out of finding out how old he was. But
they both knew they could figure it out. In other words, they
Right.
know where he began, and they know where he is. A simple subtraction will do it. But they were really not wanting to receive from this person her impression of what that means.
Yes, exactly.
Because she is going to compare him with everybody else in her file cabinet. And he's different from them.
So what I had been doing is I think I look great for my age, so I've been using it as empowerment, I thought, to show an example of what's possible. But then again, I'm focusing on my age to look better
it doesn't make any difference. Whatever tool you use that gives you a feeling of relief. In other words, the thing that we can still feel from you a little bit is, and it's natural, is that you're still having a hard time not comparing yourself with whatever else is happening around you. And we want it to only be about the way you feel. And so certainly if it makes you feel better to say, for my age, I'm doing extremely well, and that nets you a feeling of relief, then that's the right statement. But if you have issues with age and you bring that in and then you get a worse feeling, then that wasn't a good statement for you to make. There's no right or wrong in this. It's just whatever gives you a sense of relief.
Well, I'm taking on ageless and timeless.
And yet we're talking about age and time.
Yes.
In other words, if you were really doing that, it wouldn't come up. You wouldn't activate the vibration of it at all. That's like saying, I'm not going to talk about the pink elephant. And yet we are. So the way you deactivate something is by talking about other things.
Got it.
Jerry had not thought about his age at all for years and years and years and years and years until he was asked that question. In other words, it seems irrelevant. Now everyone's thinking about it.
You're welcome.
Years ago, Jerry and Esther were at a restaurant in Tucson, and this lovely woman had come from Mesilla, where her restaurant was, and she was helping her son start this other restaurant. And Jerry was talking to her about what a lovely restaurant it was, and she patted him on the shoulder and said to him, "You are just a baby." And so Esther has repeated those words to him nearly every day of his life because she loved hearing it from this woman who has since then made her transition. So recently they had dinner in Mesilla. And as Esther sat down and looked at Jerry, she heard this woman in her head say to Jerry, "You are just a baby." And what she is saying is, you are at the beginning wherever you are. In other words, it is always a new beginning. Your relationship to anything that has been has no relevancy. Your relationship to what has been has brought you to the place of desire that you hold now. But where you are in relationship to where you are wanting to be has nothing to do with where you have been, you see. And that's the thing that we so much want to find a way of demonstrating. We want you to stand where you are and be joyful about where you are on your way to where you want to go. And even in all of this discussion, as you're sort of struggling to find that place, you are still so aware of where you have been and so aware of where you are. And in the moment that you put your attention upon where you're going, all the angst about all of that other stuff just fades away.
Great.